Hey Spuddies, Potato McWhiskey here and welcome to Desynced, a very interesting, very unique logistic factory building management RTS co-op multiplayer PvP game. It's so much more than just something that evokes the feeling of Factorio. There's a lot going on with this game. And that makes me quite a bit excited. We're going to go ahead and start a new game, and we will be playing solo today, although I have heard that this game is quite a lot of fun in multiplayer. Do check it out. This video is sponsored, by the way. Thank you so much to the developers for sponsoring this video. You can check out a link in the description of the video, and I absolutely recommend you do so, because if you know me, the only time I take sponsorships is when I have the chance to try out a game and the opportunity to make a decision on whether or not I think the game is even good enough to do a sponsorship on. So the fact that I am playing this game and doing a sponsorship should tell you what I think about it. Okay, robot lady, I'm going to explain the game. You don't have to do that. So we have a little command pod of robots, and we can send them out scouting. They can do mining. They can do all sorts of cool things. But the very first thing that you're probably wanting to do is deploy a little old base. And it's usually a good idea to deploy like near resources. I know that sounds insane. Cities typically built near useful resources. So we're going to go ahead and deploy our little base right here in the center. And I get kind of Command & Conquer vibes a little bit from this. And we have a variety of missions that we have to follow that kind of guide you through it. But I really like about this game is that it's very freeform in like how you achieve your mission. Like for example, I could go and mine these crystals to, achieve our mission. Or I could just grab this little scout guy and send him and be like, hey, go scoop up all these like little spare crystals around, and that will actually finish the mission for me. And you can see here, he scooped up all the crystals. Boom, get that last little crystal there and that last little crystal there. And one of the things I love about this game is the fact that like this dude is carrying 60 crystals on his back. Like the crystals actually exist in his inventory. I can move them around. That's such a cool, small little detail that I love. And I can put the crystals in my command center, right? I put the crystals in. Hey, isn't that cool? And then, oh, what is this? A power cell. So this is what powers my base. We've got a little fabricator here. Now, if we equip the fabricator on a slot, you can see the fabricator actually appeared on the building. If I put it on this slot, it appears on top of the building. And then you can click on the fabricator to be like, hey, I want to build more fabricators. Hey, I want to smelt some metal. Now, in order to smelt metal, it's probably a good idea to actually start harvesting some metal. Now, the cool thing about these two little scouts here that we've got is both of them have a mining laser tool on them. So we're going to go ahead and send them over here, start scooping up that delicious metal, and then add it to our logistic network. Now, there's a lot of really cool stuff here. You could tell these guys like, hey, I want you to display how much metal you have. So you drag this little doodad over here and then boom, it's showing how much metal it's got. Ka-chunk. There's like a lot of really cool, weird little funky things you can do. But I'm going to tell this guy, I want you to smelt me some ingots because in order to build, we're going to need to process some metal bars. And probably the first thing that we will want to build is a second fabricator so we can smelt twice as fast. Yes, for sure. So one thing that we could do is like we could scale our production. We can do all sorts of cool stuff. We can tech up. There's a whole map to explore. Like if I start zooming out and then I zoom out the mini map, like this is a big old world and you can have a whole bunch of people on this. Like if I press escape, I can switch faction. I can start a new game. It's like I can just turn my single player game into a server that people can then like join and have fun playing on. This game is very, it's just really well made. Like it's actually like just kind of nice. It kind of reminds me of that. There was that one like robot game where you like fall from space. I think it was like Dyson Sphere Program. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Dyson Sphere Program. It reminds me of Factorio. It reminds me of like RTS games. It's got a lot going for it that I find very exciting. Now let's go ahead and stop in here. I'm going to tell it to make another fabricator because we want to be able to produce metal faster using our little capital building here. And I want you to both produce metal so we can fill up that little thing a little quicker. So both these guys are churning out metal. So what if I drag this to this and then tell this to become this? Huh, okay, wait, hold on. What if I do this? Huh, interesting. Are you now following this guy's move? So if I tell you to make metal plates, do you both switch? No, okay. So there's like this, I'm not like figuring out the UI, just kind of like, I don't like, this game has so much potential. And like, I'm going to tell you right now in this video, we are literally like, we're going to be like digging one nano layer of atoms into the skin of the apple that this game is, because there is so much going on here, dude. We have successfully processed 80 metal bars, which has completed our mission, and we should soon receive another mission. In fact, we should have a mission to produce probably an assembler, which means we need to produce some metal plates. So I'll make like, what do I need for the assembler again? Let me double check that. Yeah, I need 5 metal plates. Let's do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 metal plates, go. Awesome. So let's go ahead and actually produce the assembler now, which is a slightly more advanced manufacturing facility. The fabricator is a very basic thing. The assembler, a little bit more advanced. It requires a little bit of crystal, it requires metal plates, which are processed metal bars. And then we can equip the assembler to the building, boosh, and then the thing on top of the building actually changes. One of the things that I love about this game is how the visuals of the world change as you play. It's one of my favorite things. So we are going to go ahead and come in here, and now we can do some really cool stuff. Like, for example, we could build an uplink, but in order to build an uplink, we need to make a circuit board. And the circuit board takes 3 metal plates and 5 things. So let's start this, and then we're going to build 3 metal plates, and then we'll be able to get ourselves a circuit board. And then once we have the circuit board, we'll be able to do more interesting stuff as well. And now that we have the circuit board, we can go ahead and get started on the uplink. So we'll build that little uplink right there. And now we can place the uplink over the fabricator, which means we now have access to technology because we were able to uplink to the technology screen. And now we can make like basic power. We can make basic structures. I think what we're going to do real quick is grab ourselves a couple of small buildings. We'll just go 1, 2, 3, and we'll also produce ourselves another fabricator. We're going to put fabricators on all of these buildings. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I put that in the wrong building. The cool thing is like your robots will just like automatically do things you tell them to do. They figure it all out. So now we've got 3 fabricators. I want 2 of these guys to be set to be producing metal. So that's your job. And then I want 1 of these guys to be producing metal plates. And that will be perfect. So slowly over time, we will produce a surplus of metal plates. And you can also see production numbers up here at the top. You can see here, there's our ore production. Yellow is the line of things that we have produced. Red is the line of things that we have used. And you can see here, we didn't make much, quarryable stuff. And the really awesome thing is now we can start making new robots. Like, we can make miners. Isn't that awesome? Speaking of which, I would like to make another assembler and set up a production line for miner bots. But we'll get to work on that. Like, it would just be nice that we could just order the production of miner bots to be able to get a couple of them out. But I guess we'll work on. Look, listen, there's so much going on here. So we definitely want to research basic structures. But I think I'm gonna build out my empire a little bit here. I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna build a circuit board because you need 1 circuit board to make a worker. Then I will produce the worker using that circuit board. And then I want to make a little mining laser for that guy so that he can just gather crystals. Because I need crystal income. I've got no income of crystal, and we are going to start using more and more crystal as time goes on. So there's the mining laser. We drag the mining laser onto the new little worker. And we just tell the worker, hey, go mine some crystal, and boom. Now he's lasering it. Now he's not quite as fast as these guys. These guys actually have a slightly more advanced laser mining tool. But you don't quite need as much crystal as you do metal in the early game. So I'm kind of happy with this. Let's go ahead and set up another production line. We're going to want 3 more fabricators. 1, 2, 3. Well, that's 4 actually. I want 3 of those bad boys. So that we could just so we can get a little bit of production going. I like to space my buildings out nicely. And the really cool thing here is I can just press Control and then press V, and it will literally apply the settings. I could actually just totally copy this building. In fact, that's probably what I should have done. But listen, the game just I did things wrong. That's how life works. Sometimes you make mistakes. But if we take a look at the production breakdown of a metal plate, so it needs 2 basic mining lasers and 1.3 fabricators worth of metal production to keep it fueled. So I think I want to go a little bit heavier on the actual metal bar production rather than the plate production. So we're going to go ahead and just keep fabricating up as time goes on. And we are going to want more scouts that are dedicated to resource traveling, because look at this guy, he's super busy. He's running around, he's picking up resources, he's dropping them off. And this is a really satisfying, cool mechanic of these guys. They're little logistic robots. They run around, they do what they're supposed to do, and they move resources around, they do all that stuff. Let's go ahead and go to research, and we're going to get researching on basic structures. This will unlock slightly more advanced technology. So we're going to go ahead and get that started. Make sure I'll connect my robots to the logistic network. And if I hover over this, you can see the power grid. Where we have energy is where the logistic network goes. Metal plates are being stored inside this uplink, which are then being researched, turned into beautiful new resources. We're also not quite mining enough metal now, so we'll probably need to make some modifications there. But just something I love is the fact that every resource in the game is actually a physical object. It exists. If I click on here, I can see this building's inventory without ever clicking on its UI. I can see this guy has metal on his back. I can see this guy has metal on his back. I can see this guy has crystals in his little booty storage that he's got there. I know, I just think that's super cool. Awesome, so we just finished the research of basic structures, which unlocked reinforced plates. It also unlocked small buildings, slightly better small buildings that use higher tier materials, as well as access to the 2x1 building. Now, in order to produce some of these things, we're going to have a little bit of fun here, but we can actually start going to... Right now we were building the super basic 1x1 building that has one small slot in it. We could build the slightly more efficient 1x1 building that has 2 small slots in it, so we could actually compress down these like smelty rings to a single tile, which is what we are going to be doing. We're going to be compressing down the footprint of our factory, because the smaller the factory is, the more efficient it can be. So let's go ahead and build a deconstructor so that we can start reclaiming all of these lost things. We're going to go ahead and move 2 of our fabricators over to this building. It's going to be a little bit of a logistic request. It'll take a minute. And then we'll move the iron, or the iron, or the metal ore, rather. The metal ore over. And we're going to set these guys to be both metal bar producers so that we can just have like a super specialized foundry, right? It takes up way less blueprint in the factory. It's kind of cool. And then to make this sort of quote unquote more efficient, what we can do is we can say, we can put down a little storage next to it. And it'll take up the same amount of blueprint, but this configuration has way more storage. And I'll show you what I mean by that. I'm also going to put the deconstructor... I'm going to make a worker... well, no, I'm going to put the deconstructor on this guy so that he can have that. And this is just a tool that allows you to unbuild things, okay? In order to build things, you just bring resources over to them. In order to unbuild things, you got to use the deconstructor. So now what I can do is I can set this whole building storage to be for metal. And I'll say, hey, you use the store command and send it to this building. And now metal will be sent here. And then I can right click this, fix this slot to this item, and then completely fill up this whole thing and say, hey, this is just metal storage, right? This whole thing is designed to be storing of metal. And then I can press Control, copy this building and place another one right here. And it will do the exact same thing. It will literally copy whatever this thing is. And then I can tell this thing to, de-equip these fabricators into this building, and then those fabricators will be picked up and placed in here, and the cycle of building will continue. I definitely need to get another worker just to help out with the logistics network. So I think I'll probably add like, I guess I'll add like 3 workers, sure, because the stuff isn't getting moved around as fast as it should. And I'm going to start moving metal into these bins. We're reclaiming the factory and building it up to be more efficient. And honestly, this is one of the first games, because usually this is my least favorite part of these games, right? Where you have to be like, oh god, I need to like, I need to delete my factory and then rebuild it. Ugh. That's not a fun process. That's like my least favorite part of this. But somehow in this game, it kind of works. I want you to deconstruct this building right now and get those resources. Perfect. We're going to add another 1x1 building with 2 slots in it, whose job it will be is to produce all of this delicious metal. Let's make sure we add all these workers to the logistic network. They should now run around and start moving resources. They're not as fast as my scouts, but they do the job. Now they can kind of bump into each other, which like slows them down, and they kind of got to do a little bit of wiggling around and figuring each other out. But it's fine. We'll get there. Let's deconstruct the next building as well. We'll deconstruct this one too. And there's a little bit of resources on the ground that we'll scoop up and deal with when the time comes. Let's start the research of basic power. That'll just use up some of our crystals. I may also come in here and build like another miner for the purpose of getting another person, just bringing in that little bit of crystals, because we're starting to use up a lot of our crystals. And I'm going to offload a little bit of this metal into this building, and then we'll pick up whatever these are left over. So let's take both fabricators and put them into this new building. Boosh, right? Both of these are going to be dedicated to making metal plates, which is going to start to consume a lot of my metal bars, but that's fine. Right, so it's all about just making a slightly more efficient factory. Let's put a mining component on you. And now you are officially a crystal miner. Good job. Help produce crystals for my factory, because I am not getting enough. We have, in fact, constructed another one of these lovely storage bins. I'm going to tell this plate storage to store in here, and we will start to move around all these resources. Now, let's grab our deconstructor and start deconstructing all of these original factories we built. I like the idea of like, hey, we found a new efficient way to do things. So you rip up the old factory. And normally I find this to be a really tedious part of these kind of games, but just for some reason, the simplicity at which like cleaning up your old factory is done just makes it kind of satisfying. So now we need to start thinking about more advanced materials. So we're going to go ahead and start building reinforced plates. And we need specifically, when it comes to building, we need 20 of these. So let's go in here and we're going to go ahead and queue up 20 reinforced plates. It'll take a little bit of time to build those, but once we have them, we'll be able to build slightly more advanced buildings like the 2x1 medium 1M, 1S, which means one medium, one small slot building. We also got access to basic power now, which is a new technology, which is super exciting, right? We have access to crystal power. We can burn crystal for extra energy. We have a surplus of energy, so it's not important, but we can build things like small lights to light up the nighttime. We can have portable power fields. So now we can equip internal components that allow, like we could put a crystal power generator on a worker and a portable power field on a worker, and then it can provide power to like remote mining or just remote exploration operations. It could just be a self-powered robot that can do like, you know, independent operations, which is really, really cool. I would like to do, I think, basic signals now, but I'm going to wait until I actually have a circuit board manufactory, which is going to be the first thing that I set up. Second thing, the first thing I'm going to be setting up is a plate production facility, because I need to be able to build these reinforced plates, but circuit boards for sure are going to be up there. Our current mission is to produce reinforced plates, and I will place down a medium 2x1 so we can start the construction process. We just need a few more plates and it'll be ready to go. Our consumption of metal bars is slightly higher than our production, so I'm going to go ahead and copy one of these templates and make another one so that we can increase our production of these metal bars. Let's go ahead and produce ourselves an extra fabricator to fill this up, and we'll also need some circuit boards once we get around to that. I'm going to go ahead and put an assembler on this building here, and this building will be dedicated to the production of metal plates, these reinforced plates that cost 2 metal bars and a regular plate. And that is just what this building is designed to produce, slowly but surely, to fill up that reinforced plate resource so that we can continue to build more buildings. In fact, I will place another one, and this one will be dedicated to circuit board manufacturing. Until then, though, I will let my quote-unquote command center, my capital building, to produce those circuit boards that we need to continue to expand our factory, right? I just love the whole process of improving and building up a base. It's just like this game was designed for people who like satisfying gameplay loops of you know, slow incremental improvements and, you know, retooling and rebuilding and rewiring and doing all sorts of cool, kooky, crazy stuff. One thing that we have to do be careful about is that our power field only extends out so far into our metal ore field. So that's something we'll need to be aware of. Now, if we look at the manufacturing of these reinforced plates, one assembler uses up about the production of a single... Yeah, it uses up about the production of a single plate building. So we should start to see like metal plate usage kind of dip, and you know, it'll be unstable for a while because we're not producing that much. There's an argument to be made that we need to increase our metal plate production, which we may do. In fact, we could do that, but it's honestly not that important to me. What I will need is another assembler. We reached our first milestone, fabricating 1,000 metal bars. This number gets very big very quickly. As you can imagine, a factory that can almost self-expand. So one thing that we need to do now is our mission is to research basic robotics. Basic robotics will give us access to some more advanced technology, things like robotics assemblers, dashbots, larger buildings, even more high-tech buildings, high-tech energized plates, things like silicon. We'll need to go find new resources and bring them in. And if you look around, I don't see silicon around here. Do you see silicon? No, I just see crystals and iron. So it's going to be an interesting battle. Like, there's a little bit of silicon like scattered, so you can kind of scoop up a little bit to kickstart your economy, but you're going to have to find reliable resources. And then not only will you have to build an outpost, you'll have to defend that outpost and then set up a resource lane that brings those resources back. So kind of an interesting, fun, exciting inflection point, even just 3 techs into the thing. I'm going to go ahead and start basic signals so that we can start researching things like signal readers, portable radars, and signposts. I don't know how to use these things. Like, I don't understand what these things are. I just know they're part of the game. I would like to understand them. I would like to know how they worked and what they did. It's just a little bit beyond me. Let's go ahead and put an assembler into this building. And now that the assembler is here, which by the way is a physical object that exists in the world, which I love that, we're going to go ahead and start producing circuit boards in here, which means we now have sort of the quote-unquote tier 2 manufacturing setup. So we're going to be getting circuit boards and we're going to be getting reinforced plates. So like these signal readers, I don't really understand what they do or how they work, but let's see if we can play around with them. Let's make a signal reader, okay? And then let's make a bot. All right, we built our 5th bot and a little milestone here. I think there's a whole bunch of milestones you can do here. Like, you need to reach ungodly amounts of stuff. All right, we got a little bot here, and let's equip this thing with the signal reader. And I want you to read. I don't know what I want you to read. I don't understand. I don't like. So what does this do? Oh, okay. Hold on. We're playing around with the signal reader. I've always wanted to figure out how these signal readers worked. Okay, so I want you to read metal bars. Huh. Okay. Wait. So let's say I want this building to release a signal that it has metal bars. All right. So that's the signal that this thing is coming out, and then I want you to read that signal. And when you receive this signal, I want you to store metal in a new thing in the capital. Is that quite working? No. Okay. So if you read this signal, okay, you find 20 metal bars. What if I put a fabricator on you? We're exploring possibilities here. Huh. Okay. So I've got like, you're reading this inventory, and because this is displaying less than 20 bars, that's telling you to output a fabricator. Or we could say you should output a signal and then have something else read your signal. Anyway, look, there's so much potential here. This is like this game's version of Redstone, okay? There's so much that could happen here that could go on. But I don't fully understand it, to be honest with you. And my brain just isn't large enough. I'm not ready for it. But one day I will. One day I will understand this. Anyway, let's start new research. We're going to start on basic robotics. This will also give us access to higher tier manufacturing, so we can start building better robots and then replace our fleet of robots with slightly better dashbots that, they can store more resources, they move a little quicker, they do all that sort of stuff a little bit better. One thing we definitely need is more metal ore miners. So let's just quickly grab, like, I guess 4 more mining thingies. We'll be able to produce like maybe a few more workers once we do this research. Although I might just produce those workers now just to get them mining. So let's go ahead and produce 4 workers. And those 4 workers will all get miners attached to them. And we'll just send them off to the metal ore mines. First miner complete. Off you go to the mines, good sir. Second miner complete. Off you go. Third miner, there you are. And the 4th miner, I will put this guy on crystal. We're running out of crystal too. We gotta keep all the resources flowing here. All right, I think I need to add these miners to the logistic network so people can actually take resources from them. Yeah, that was a mistake I was making. So we were making metal, but it wasn't going into the network. All right, cool. So we just finished basic robotics, which is another technology, which will give us access to the robotics assembler, the dashbot, the medium scale building with a 1x1 footprint, as well as the 2x1 building, the energized plate, and the silicon. Let's go ahead and open up research. And I think, we go for power transfer here. This will give us access to the beautiful solar cells, which are renewable power that generate power. We'll also get access to like batteries and capacitors and all that sort of cool stuff. So we can start this. Let's do it. These 2M buildings are quite a bit more expensive compared to the other ones, and the 1M slot buildings and all that sort of stuff. These are like a little bit more expensive in terms of resources, but they're like tend to be more footprint efficient. One thing I definitely want to build is the robotics assembler. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. This will allow me to start building things like dashbots, which are slightly faster versions of these little like regular ass workers. Our next mission will be to store silicon, and we also need to research robotics production, which will be a interesting move. It'll take us a little while to get there because I got a few things that I want to get done in my base before we do that. Let's plug in we're not doing research right now, so we're going to plug in the little robotics assembler. And dashbots are a little bit more expensive in that they take these energized plates, but the big advantage of dashbots are they move 50% faster than workers. They use the same amount of power, but they have twice as much storage. So quite a useful bot for running around and doing logistics. So probably these 3 bots will be turned into miner bots, and then I'll make 3 dashbots to replace their logistic network job. So let's build those 3 energized plates that we can start to make those dashbots. There are some cool, by the way, there's like explorable ruined structures. I haven't like even begun to even think about or talk about that stuff because it's a little bit deeper into the gameplay, but you can totally explore like ruined structures, and inside these can be goodies and cool things that you could use to advance your civilization. Well, I say a civilization, I mean like this little robot colony that we've got going here. All right, dashbot 1, 2, 3. Let's get our 3 dashbots going. We built the energized plates. We just need a decent amount of circuit boards, but I'm hoping that the speed of these dashbots and their ability to carry more resources will lead to a more efficient logistics network, and then I'll be able to also build 3 more miners, which will allow these old workers that are current. Oh, we're getting power issues. We'll have to deal with that. That'll be fine. Here's our 3 dashbots. Hello, welcome to the network. Let's grab these 3 workers. 1, 2, 3 dashbots. Let's move them. I'm going to move them over there. 1, 2, 3 dashbots. I want you guys. As you can notice, my robots are starting to move a little bit slow. I'm going to take them off the logistics network. I'm going to add the dashbots to the logistics network, so they'll start moving stuff around nice and quickly. But we're running into power issues. So one thing that we can do to alleviate those power issues is start to build crystal power. I'm going to go ahead and plant down a little power factory just so we can have a little bit of excess power. This will be a double small factory, and we will equip mining lasers to all 3 of these workers. 1 will go on the crystals and 2 will go on the metal. It doesn't matter what the body of the robot is that's working, because like the thing that matters when it comes to this is like the actual tool that's doing the harvesting. It's like kind of more important than the body of the robot or whatever. Let's produce a pair of crystal power plants that will only turn on when we need that electricity. I'm also going to place a 2x1 building, I guess, because they're a little bit cheaper for my robotics facility, where I will actually start to produce my dashbots. All right, power plant here, perfect. And this will just help deal with this electricity demand, because the less power you have, the less efficient your factory runs, right? If you have a power deficit, your factory will run inefficiently. Now, we are burning crystal to make this electricity, which is obviously not ideal because crystal is not a renewable resource. So in a perfect world, we would much rather build solar panels, but we haven't quite researched those yet. Let's move the robotics assembler to this building, and then we can reassign the uplink, which is perfect. So now I've got this robotics assembler. I'm going to go ahead and just tell you to produce some energized plates. But I only want 1, so I'm going to go fix that empty slot, and I just want 1 stack of energized plates. That's all I care about. I don't want to use up all my delicious reinforced plates. In fact, I'm going to power this off before we get there and cancel this. So with the thingy here, we're going to go for power transfer so we can start getting solar panels. However, what I would really like to do is to increase my metal plate production. So I'm going to tell this guy, my deconstructor, I think I want to build a 2x1 double medium. So why don't you go ahead and... Oh, I can't quite select them. I need to put them on a hotkey here. Harvest this building. Okay, very nice. Drop off those resources, scoop up all those old resources, and then get ourselves a 2x2, or a 2x1 double manufacturer, and then we can get started on another assembler, I think the plan was. This assembler will go back to reinforced plates. Now, just keep in mind, we are going to start using up these plates quite quickly now. So we may have to increase our manufacturing capacity, but at least we will have double the production of plates. So we'll run out of them a little bit slower. Let's get started on power transference. It's a good little technology. These workers are not added to the logistic network, so I will add them so that their resources can be scooped up. And now would probably be a good time to create a away team, a mobile battalion of dudes who can do combat and protect themselves and get silicon for my base. So, yeah, let's get that going. We're going to go ahead and build, well, first things first, you gotta do the scouting. So let's make a couple of workers to replace these miners that I've got over here, these scout miners. All right, you guys head over here. I'm going to take these advanced mining lasers and put them on these kind of crappy scout units. They'll go back to mining. Now these scouts, I'm just going to get them to dump off their resources into some of my factories. And now we can take this guy and we can just go like scoop up resources, do a little scouting, disconnected console. There's like a whole puzzle we could do here. I'm going to leave that for later because we don't need to do that early. What I'm really looking for are silicon deposits. Oh, hello. Oh, we found the bad guys. I forgot to put a turret on this guy. Hold on. Let me get that turret. Welcome to the Desynced, where there are actually opponents. We have little trilobites that we gotta fight because we have, you know, that's where the silicon comes from. They drop silicon when they die. You can scoop it up, but also silicon exists in their sort of nest areas. And what is this? Let's explore this. Oh, they have like a little bug hole over here. Interesting. So I need an intel scanner to figure out what's going on there. I could pick up some scattered stuff. Oh wow, what's that? Like bug chitin? Cool. So yeah, this is the I think it's called plateau, but this is also like the blight. There's blight crystals. What we're looking for are silicon deposits. Is there another bug hole here? No, but I'm getting enough silicon to maybe kickstart my silicon economy. But yeah, the blight is like a fog that you can't move into. And there's like little bug holes around. And they drop silicon that you can scoop up. as well as chitin. This guy's out of power. I'm going to bring him home. I need to set up an actual away team of bots, which will probably be my 3 scouts. Let's grab the one of the crystal power generators because we only need one. We're also going to go ahead and produce a portable power field so that this guy can repower his friends. Let's go ahead and store this silicon and the bug chitin. For now, we'll give you the crystal. Why don't you go ahead and take, you know, a little bit of crystal in your inventory. All right, so once I give you the portable power field, you will actually be able to repower your turreted friend. And now these guys can sort of have a little bit more independent scout as a party and keep checking out the outside world. So I don't think this is a plateau. I think this is a blight zone, which is slightly different from a plateau in that we need like pretty advanced technology to be able to go in here. This is the plateau that I was looking for. This is where we find the silica sand. There are little bug holes that we're going to go ahead and delete. And oh yeah, there is a whole bunch of silica over here. So we're going to want to set up a little like mining base here, I think. And when I say mining base, it'll be really exceptionally little. So I think we want to do power transfer and expanded power. So we'll need to produce energized plates. Let's go ahead and get that energized plate production going. It's probably about time. And we may as well explore this little weird chunk of stuff. I don't have a system scanner. I don't know how we even research this. It looks like an unknown alien piece of technology that we don't quite have the tech to look at. So we found one plateau-y area. A decent chunk of silica in there. Probably not enough to fuel my economy long term, so we would like to find more. We could definitely explore this ruin. Disconnected console. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit of a fun puzzle game. I'll be back after I solve it. It's actually quite straightforward. There's usually only like one valid solution. Like you see this thing, like things can only connect in certain ways. So it actually, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's straightforward, which I appreciate. In that you don't have to do a whole lot of guessing. In that like the solutions tend to be fairly logical. The only thing is like, imagine playing this game like competitively, which is a thing you can do, and then trying to solve this puzzle to save your little empire, you know what I mean? All right, we're very, very close to a solution, so I just need to kind of flip around a few of these tiles to figure out what I'm doing wrong. I was like saying, oh yeah, like these are actually usually super straightforward. They're actually not too hard. And then I get one that's actually quite difficult, of course. It's like Murphy's Law, whatever. All right, we're a little bit closer. I just need to figure out how to connect this. There we go, perfect. So we get 2 laser, oh, these are advanced mining tools and a signpost. We don't care so much about the signpost, but if we bring a circuit here, now we can fully access this explorable thing. And there's like lots of things to explore. These ones are, the smaller ones tend to be like a little bit easier, which, you know, big shock there. But they tend to be just equally as rewarding. Like we just got free miner stuff. I mean, they're not like the most valuable thing that you can get in the game, but it's pretty good. There's also laterite ore, which I don't even know what to do with yet, but it exists. Okay, I think now is a good time to start up the production of silicon. I'm going to produce I'm going to over-design a silicon smeltery, purely because it's a satisfying thing to do. So I guess I'll build it out here. This is fine. So it'll be like 1, 2, 3 factories with 2. We just unlock power transference. We do have access to solar cells as well as small batteries as well as capacitors. These are all very useful things for us to have access to. We'll go ahead and research behaviors. There's like some stuff here like beacons, beacon kits. I don't know what beacons do or how beacons work. Shared storage is kind of a cool thing, as is the behavior controller. We will play around with the behavior controller. I think the behavior controller is like the big selling point of this game. And I literally have scratched the surface of that. But we're going to talk about it. So if I want a smelting area, I'm going to need storage, and then I'm going to want probably 6 fabricators. We can make that work. Here we go. Here's another plateau. This one has like small bot glitches and all sorts of cool, potentially explorable and scary stuff. Yeah, this one looks like it's going to have a big old bug nest in here. And the bigger the bug nest, the more resources there tend to be. Oh, we got silica sand going for miles. Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to get control of this zone. I don't know what small bot glitches are yet. I haven't quite figured out that part of the gameplay. We also got a blight zone to the south here. Looks like a bug hole. Let's go defeat that bug hole. Bug hole defeated. Chitin absorbed. So now we know one silica zone. We know there's a bit of silica over here. So we know where we can get silica to start building up our silica economy. All right, you're just going to chill here. Your job is to do that. Let's get all this. I'm going to tell this building, I want you to request literally infinite silica. I don't know if that actually works. It does not look like it worked. I haven't quite figured out how to tell a storage thing to be like, hey, fill me up with silica, which kind of feels like an important mechanic that I'm missing. But let's go ahead and pop down all our fabricators into the silica smelting area. Okay, and we'll set one of these bad boys to actually making the silicon. Now, I'm also going to start producing probably like, let's see, what's my power need right now? So I could probably use 10 solar cells to help supply my base, because we've got like a little bit of a power load right here. So let's start the production of those solar cells. Boom. Then we need places to put those solar cells, and then we're going to need batteries to store at nighttime. So I reckon, oh, there's behaviors. We're going to talk about behaviors when we get a chance. For now, though, let's focus on building up our little bit of a, you know, power bank. I reckon over here is fine for power. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We are producing silicon, so our next objective is sort of starting to be completed. And we're also starting to lower our reliance on crystal power. You can look at your power node and see like, oh, like this building, it's, you know, it's producing the 50 from the solar cell. We don't produce at night, obviously, but that's what the batteries are going to be for. Some of these miners are not added to the logistic network, which means their resources are not getting added. You have to be careful about adding your miners to the logistic network. It doesn't sound like something that would be important, but it is. All right, miner for you. You get on crystals, add you to the logistic network. Then I do have a couple of spare mining thingies here, so I'll give you a laser mining tool. And you may also get added to the logistic network. Go ahead and gather up those crystals. And then the final mining tool that I found, I will give to you. You can go on metal ore. Ooh, and make sure that I add you to the logistic network as well. Awesome. Harvesting is happening. Now, keep in mind, we are going to burn through these resources really fast. Like, super, super fast. Let's get all of our solar domes where they belong. And so now we should no longer need the crystal power. I'm going to de-equip the crystal power. I'll leave that thing there. We need to talk about like batteries. So the thing here is a small battery. It has a drain rate and a charge rate. In order for a battery to match the output of these 10 solar powers, I'm going to need at least 2 batteries because their drain rate is 250, which means that's how much they can output into the network at night. So let's go ahead and get started on a 1x2 building with 2 small slots. And then we'll start the construction of 2 batteries. Well, I only put 1 there, so we want that to be 2. Now, we could build like small little internal capacitors, but look, these have a power storage of 2,000, a drain rate of 25. These are for small mobile operations. If we want something stationary, we want to build these small, because like, look at the cost. They both cost basically the same amount. 1 circuit board plus 10 crystals. But the actual like capability for these things to output power is so much different. So these small batteries are exactly what we want. And now these little small batteries, they provide us with nighttime power. These 5 solar panels, these 5 pairs of solar panels can output 500 power. These can drain 500 power per night. So this is like a perfectly balanced like setup of solar panels and batteries. Like it's a symmetric sort of configuration, you might think. So I think our goal over here would be to set up a self-sustaining colony that can mine out this silica sand. So we're probably going to want, you know, just for the look of things, we're probably going to want a turret, a few mining drones, and we're going to want a dashbot as well. So let's get a dashbot. And the job of the dashbot is to transfer resources from the mining base to our main base. We are going to want a small power field to be able to spread power around, at least 2 solar cells, maybe more. And then we're going to need 30 plates and 4 circuits. So let's get the plates and circuits. You come over here, grab 2 stacks of plates and a stack of circuits. You grab me another stack of plates there. Thank you. Okay. This is what we can use to build this configuration. Let's grab those 2 solar panels. And this will be the beginning of our little operation over here. All right. 2 small buildings will do the job. I'm going to tell you to construct those. Put those plates in, good sir. As well as the circuit boards. These buildings should auto-build. Perfect. We're going to lay down a pair of solar panels. Boom and boom. We're also going to put on a small power field. And now this area has its own power field as well as a logistic network. I forget, how do I show that? There's a way I show this. But basically, you could see this little like area is powered. Which means robots in this area will do okay. And we can see the load is only 20 while it's producing 100. We're going to need a battery for overnight storage for sure. So let's bring this guy back. Let's grab ourselves a small battery. We're also going to want a storage block. That's going to require some silicon and some metal plates. Would you grab yourself a little bit of silica and grab some of those metal plates as well. Ooh, one thing I meant to build is I forgot to build a behavior controller, so we can talk about that. Let's go ahead and get that under construction. Why don't you grab me that battery? Oh yeah, let's put a behavior controller in this dashbot. Okay, because this component opens up an entire universe of programmable behavior. Okay, an entire universe. There's unit commands, there's move commands, there's component commands. There's literally, like, I'm pretty sure, like, I don't even, like, this is, you can, like, hey, check the altitude. Oh, you're in a valley? Check your battery. Oh, your battery's full? Count how many metal plates you have. Oh, you have this many metal plates? If the first item is a, this thing, do that. I don't even know where to begin with this. Now, here's a cool thing. I do believe you have test behaviors in here. Wait, I had a folder. I had some behaviors that I'd kind of screwed around with here. Let me see here. So we gotta, God, I don't even remember what I was doing. I was fiddling around with behavior controllers. I was literally in the middle of showing off the coolest part of the game, and then I get a phone call. Like, this is just, of course, like, there's just, dude, I don't even know what to tell you, right? Go, look, now this guy is scouting. I just gave him the scout program, so he's scouting, right? This is a very, very simple program, scout, but we can also say, like, we can make a slightly more advanced scouting program, right? We could say, hey, let's move this over here, right? Check your battery, right? And then you can read from the register. I want to check, let's see, I want you to check yourself, right? So that's the visual register. Let's use the signal register. I want you to signal yourself, okay? And then I want you to check your signal register. If your battery is full, you can scout. If your battery is not full, I want you to move to your go-to target, okay? And your go-to target is home base. This will be your go-to target, right? This is a command center. Hold on, don't do that yet. No, your visual register then instead, because your go-to target is a little bit wonky. I want you to read from your visual register. All right, so if I press play now, this guy should realize, oh, I'm out of battery. I'm gonna head back to base, and I will, you know, he's gonna go back to base, and he should stay there until he refills his battery, and then when his battery is full, he'll go back to scouting. It's like I have just created a program in like this weird little visual language that this game uses. It has like a loop. It has like conditionals. It's got so much going on. I'm pretty sure that guy's energy just got refilled and he's already off. He's gone. What are you doing? Can you loop back to check battery here? Did that work? Hold on. So now he's looping. Your battery is full, so you're supposed to go to scout. Why aren't you going to scout? Anyway, look, I don't understand the system very well, but there is a whole automation system in the game that you can play around with. And I think that is what's going to stand, like make this game stand out compared to like the average one of these kind of factory games is you get access to the programming stuff. Like this is tier 1 technology. There's like multiple tiers and we're in like tier 2 of tier 1 technology. I haven't even started like, dude, I haven't even built wind power yet. And we're already doing some crazy advanced stuff. We don't even have nanobots for repair components, for portable transporters. The portable transporter is insane, by the way. Super cool stuff. We don't even have robotics production. We're not even producing wires. We should be producing wires. We don't even have basic expanded power with things like wind turbines, with bigger turrets, with medium capacitors, with portable shield generators. We haven't even started gateway technology to get things like the re-simulator, which is like, I don't even know how to explain what this building does, but we'll get there. We will get there, believe you me. I think the first thing I should do here is just do expanded power. Or, well, no, we should do robotics production. Cancel this, do robotics production. And I was in the middle of building like a little base here before I got distracted. So this is where the silica will be stored. This little dashbot, I'm going to try to program him intelligently. We'll see what we can do. Let's make 4 miners. We will produce 4 workers. A really simple way that I could set this guy up is just to set him as part of the logistics network, but mostly as a transport route. And then I think what I do is I set a go-to message to this storage block and then a store message to this storage block. And basically what he'll do is when he sees a resource here that he can pick up, he'll pick up that resource, then he'll go store here and then he'll check his orders and he'll go, oh, I'll go back over here. And this guy will just move between these two bases. Like, he's basically doing a supply run. So once I get my miners over here, like, my life will become quite a bit simpler. Right, let's get the 1, 2, 3, 4 miners. So here we go. The march of the little silica miners are coming along. These workers are really cheap, but they're, you know, they don't need to be expensive. It's not their job to, like, you know, they're just here to mine. They don't need to be specialized advanced robots. It was one of the mistakes I made when I was learning the game. I was like, oh, I need to make like the most advanced hyper techno stuff ever. And then I realized I was just wasting a lot of resources on stuff that wasn't necessary. But yeah, we're going to do things slightly different with these guys. What we're going to do is we're going to tell them all to harvest silica, and then each of them will store in here. So I'm going to copy his orders and paste his orders there. So now they'll all fill up their inventory and then store in this storage block. And then once they store in the storage block, this little dashbot will carry that back to my base. So this colony is now set up, self-sustaining, it's going. Let's move these guys out of the base so we can see what the power load is like. It looks like our power load is slightly too much and we need a battery. Well, the battery is easy to deal with, so we'll just plonk that down there. That's very, very straightforward. And then I think I could just put a solar panel on this dashbot, and I think that actually just covers me for power at this base. So let's go ahead and make that solar. But one thing I love about this game is how far you can zoom out, because you could just start to see how the factory, like when I start building like self-replicating the factory behaviors and all sorts of crazy stuff that you can get into with the programming features of the game. I like, there must be a way to like do a self-replicating factory. Anyway, look, so here's the thing. We found a plateau. We're mining the plateau. This dashbot is producing power. This is now a healthy power node. It's generating 200. Well, let me get the hell out of there. Get the hell out of there. He's now moving silica, right? He's doing it. He's doing his job. He's fulfilling his purpose. This battery is barely draining. But once that dashbot is back and he's recontributing his little bit of silicon power, he'll be good. But I will use my generator drone here to just fill this battery up for a while. I'll explore with my turreted guy because he has enough power to be like a little bit independent. And I would like to find another plateau just so I know where I'm setting up my next silicon extraction base. Also, you could totally just hide all the overlays by pressing tab, but I like having the overlays on. I don't know, it's just kind of satisfying to me. It makes me feel like I'm playing a game. Some people might not like that. You could totally turn them off. I like having them on. It's just who I am, man. It's the way I am. It's the kind of guy I do be. All right, we found another little bug hole over here. Give me those delicious, delicious, strange resources. I'll just drop some crystals here. Still don't know what blight crystals do, but we'll figure all that out. Like, that's the thing. This game is just, it's got things going for it, man. Awesome. So there's robotics production. This gives us access to the twin bot, which is a robot that can actually hold 2 small modules, so potentially double mining. Quite expensive to do a double miner. Probably better off just doing workers, in my opinion, unless you're really like unit capped. I guess the big advantage is that it only uses 10 power for a mining. Like, it's slightly more power efficient. We've also got the Cub, which allows you to store a medium module, which potentially medium turrets, right? All that kind of cool stuff. We also have access to the 2x2 medium building, which is just a large-ish building with medium slots on it. We also have access to wire. And speaking of wire, it's about time that we started producing those wires. So we have robotics production. We want to get to gateway tech, but we'll need to get some wire and some data cubes. Data cubes are going to be an interesting adventure for us. Let's go ahead and get expanded power so we can get access to things like turrets, things like wind turbines, medium capacitors. A single medium capacitor could do the work of one of those solar panel, like one of those battery setups that I had. Now, what I wanted to produce from this is I wanted to set up a smelting area for wires. And I need to create a storage block for those wires to go into. I think I'm going to quickly produce 2 more dashbots just so that we have a little bit better logistical networking. I might need to use a slightly bigger smelting building to make these wires. Let me cancel this. Here, I guess we'll just make all of these silicon producers that feed in here. And we'll set up a slightly more advanced facility for the production of that other resource. And when I say advanced, I just mean bigger building. Like, it's not actually more advanced. It's literally just a bigger building. We got a couple of dashbots here. Let's add them to the logistics network so they can keep moving stuff around for me. We are now officially producing wire, and that wire will be used in a variety of really nice construction projects. Probably would be a good idea to set up a storage facility here for these cables. And we're going to grab a stack of 20 circuit boards, as well as a little bit of a crystal chunk for this guy. And the goal here is that these 2 bad boys are going to go explore these more advanced things, because in order to actually research gateway technology, we're going to need robotics data cubes and pretty advanced materials. So it's going to be quite a bit of a journey now to explore these things. And in order to typically explore these things to their full capacity, you will need circuit boards. Let's get started. Let's do a little scouting. So we got to disconnect the console. These are like kind of a little bit quirky puzzles. I tend to just click around until I finish them. Transfer the item in, and there's the data cubes that we were looking for. I guess I'll take the signal readers, but we have solved a little explorable structure, and that's kind of part of our progression, right? We need those data cubes. You can technically craft those data cubes, but we don't have the technology to craft the data cubes, so we have to find them, because we're essentially like rebuilding our lost tech. So disconnected circuit. Oh god. Okay. Whew. There is a logical flow to these puzzles. Like, I like that they're like, you can just follow the thread and they tend to just kind of make sense. There's not a lot of, it doesn't feel like there's a lot of guesswork in these puzzles, which is something I appreciate. It's like everything is quite logically flowing from one node to the next. We have finished, by the way, researching expanded power with all those extra beautiful things. Let's go for nanobots now, while I'm just doing these like little puzzles. Do have to figure this puzzle out. This one's like slightly more difficult to the ones that I usually do. I think I'm close as hell. I just can't quite figure it out. We're super close. So dang close. So close. Oh god, I'm gonna get frustrated. We did repair it. Took us a data cube. I gotta fix this goddamn console. Oh, we did it. We figured it out. Oh, a power transmitter. Transfer power to a single unit outside the grid. These are interesting components that we are getting a hold of. So I don't even know how that power transmitter thing works. But exploration was a success. It's partially explored. We need data key sockets, which I don't understand what that is. We did just finish nanorobots. I'm going to start on gateway tech. We're going to need those robotics data cubes anyway before we can really do this. And we only have one data cube, so we'll need to find more. All right, little explorable thing here. Disconnected circuit. These ones are so delightfully easy. Looks like we need metal bars for this one. So transfer in the power. Okay, we got some circuits and stuff. So this one is fully explored. We have solved it. Looking for those data cubes, which tend to be in these like taller building things that I've at least in my experience anyway. Looks like we got a portable radar. Oh, there's the data cubes we're looking for. Let's get those bad boys. We solved this one. Interestingly enough, we have a portable radar. I still don't even know how to use these. These are just tools that are beyond my capability. I've only spent like maybe 10 hours in the game? Yeah, about 10 hours in the game. And I am literally, when I tell you I'm scratching the surface, I have made the mildest of hairline fractures in the surface. Okay, perfect. There's all the data cubes we wanted. We got them. We solved it. Let's go ahead and transfer those data cubes to the command center. So let's drop those robotics data cubes in. We got a whole bunch of like random stuff, which big fan of, by the way, random stuff, but we don't need to do any more teching. Hey, what do you get a signpost for? Don't do that. Looks like some of my workers have like gone outside of my power field, which is like slightly confusing because I think we're gonna have to build new power fields. Let's go ahead and copy the power field building and like just put it somewhere like, I guess here is fine. And we'll build the small power grid. We'll also want a battery, and this will just give us a small extension of our power grid out here. Silica mining operations have been going quite well. We've got a decent amount of cables built up. Oh, this should totally be storing its cable in this. We've got a full stack of silica in here. We're feeling good. We've got, oh yeah, this guy's coming in with 20 silica sand. How's the power grid over here doing? Battery is slightly empty. Efficiency's at 95%. I can live with 95% efficiency. Yeah, it dips up and down slightly, but we're not churning through silica sand right away. And plus, we're on the verge of finishing tier 1 tech, which is super exciting. So one thing that we could do is to maybe, while we're waiting for this technology to finish, we could start to expand our production in anticipation of future needs. Like, for example, we're going to start to need a lot of these energized plates. And so setting up like an advanced building that is dedicated to the construction of those plates could be something that's worth it, right? Because it has a lot more inventory slots, it has a lot more viable, just stuff going for it. So that is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go here. I'm going to go ahead and tell these guys to get me a pair of robotics assemblers. And the goal will be to set up a energized plate production facility. I think here will be fine. We'll just pop that right there. Our new building is complete. Let's go ahead and add the pair of robotic assemblers whose job will be to produce energized plates. There you go, and there you go. So 2 energized plate producers. And it has its own internal storage. It was a relatively expensive building to build, but it's kind of fun, right, to watch like the factory become more factory-like. Buildings become more advanced. We use up more resources. These reinforced plates, we definitely need more reinforced plate production. And on top of reinforced plate production, we need a storage for these reinforced plates. And if we're producing more reinforced plates, we're going to need more of these basic plate producers. If we're making more basic plates, we're going to need more metal mining. If we're getting more metal mining, we're going to have to claim more metal. We're going to have to set up mining bases, right? It's all these cool intertwined like demands and push-pulls and how the game like sets expectations for you. So there is gateway technology. This will unlock the refinery, which is a fairly expensive building. It costs 5 energized plates, 10 wire, 10 thingies. We can create crystal powder in here. Cables are, wow, okay, cables are difficult to produce. Then we've got high density frames. We've also got the resimulator. This is going to be a very, very expensive building that we're going to have to work towards. But like, that's the thing. Once we're into advanced technology, okay? We've got advanced logistics. We've got things like the deployer, small storage expansions, internal storage expansions, radio transmitters, allows the remote transmission of logic, allows the reception and modification of logic. We can build advanced materials. We get access to the 2x2 3M building. We get access to the 2x1 2M building. It's a more advanced version. We get the 2x1 2S 1M building, refined crystal. We get the 1L building, big L. We have large power, and then we get down to like supercomputer. We get data analyzers, robotics research, rocks, which is a massive robot that is capable of carrying a large module. We get access to the hauler. It's a bot with a medium socket, excellent speed, and expanded storage, so it's good for hauling things, good for transferring. We get the hound. It's an upgrade of the Cub. We've got the transport bot, literally just a cargo bot. Literally just a cargo bot. That's so, there's like this, and we're on the pathway. So our goal is to construct the resimulator, and in order to construct the resimulator, we're going to have to do quite a bit of manufacturing. So we have to, not only do we have to manufacture crystals, we have to manufacture silicon. Now we've manufactured the silicon. Let's go ahead and just place the resimulator. I'm going to put it like, well, I'd like to put it like in line with my main building, but it looks like it won't let me put it there. That's fine. I'll just, resimulator, you can go there. That's where the resimulator is going. This is what we're working towards. We're going to need circuit boards. We're going to need high density frames. We're going to need silicon, and high density frames are produced in robotics bays. They require energized plates as well as cables. We're going to need to build refineries. We will get there slowly but surely. We also need to expand our circuit board manufacturing. We'll work on that too. Let's first expand our refined plate production. Copy your settings to them. Then we're going to develop a new set of smelteries. And in order to make a new set of smelteries, we're then going to need 8 fabricators. But you can see here we're using up an awful lot of metal plates. And that's why we need the smeltery, to get that metal plate production up. We're also using an insane amount of metal ore. We'll need to keep increasing that also. We have completed the circuit board and the silicon on the resimulator. We need to make the crystal powder. So we're gonna need to start making refineries, because we need to make the cable, we need to make the crystal powder. It's going to be a bit of a job for us. Now the cool thing about the resimulator is it's kind of like, this is actually as far as I've gotten into the game before. I've never actually played around with a resimulator, but basically it gives you, from the game's description, like access to interesting and random technologies and things you may not have expected. All right, let's harvest back some of these older buildings so that we can start setting up a new setup. I would like a pair of medium 2s with a storage building in between them. Scoop up any of these old resources that are on the ground. And now we have a new smelting setup, which has meant that our metal ore production has dipped down into irretrievable sadness. So we're going to go ahead and put a robotics facility here. And it could be time for us to start building dual mining twin bots. It's slightly more energy efficient for us to do this. It's also extremely resource intense, but we could start like reclaiming all these old miners. Let's do it. Let's start upgrading to the new age. I changed my mind already. It's honestly, it's not that good. Let's do miner bot prefabs. I'm just going to add like 5 miner bots, and I will add 5 miners. Oh, apparently I think I got an extra scout over here, which is kind of cool. I got it from exploring, and scouts are very powerful because you can't build them as far as I can tell, but they have a small slot, 3 internals and 4 storage slots, and they're very, very fast. So they're very, very useful. Useful little guys. Now, we've got a little bit of an efficiency problem in our power generation. My metal plate production has kind of tanked. Not that it's tanked, it's just like I'm not making enough, basically. Looks like my logistic network is having a little bit of a problem, so I'm going to go ahead and activate some scouts to help out. Some resources need to get moved around. I'm going to power down one of my plate factories because it's just kind of hogging too many resources right now. We're not producing enough plates to keep up, which is slightly unfortunate. Even my single circuit board factory here just isn't able to manage. Our consumption of metal ore has gone up massively, so I'm hoping a few of these miner bots that are going out to collect a little bit of ore for us will help out on that front. And it seems to be working. They're just popping out and then they're going straight to mining. Exactly what I like to see. Power is a problem. We will need to extend our power grid. We'll figure that out. I'm going to basically double my commitment to solar, which will require quite a bit of construction from me, both on the metal plates and the circuit board manufacturing front. But we will get a hold of this. We are slowly but surely getting a hold of our metal plate production. So right now, my base is having a little bit of a logistical problem in that there's just like a lot of stuff moving around, a lot of moving parts, a lot of things are going. So one way that I can actually help that out is with the use of some specialized internal components. I'm going to get a little bit more power before I start really talking about those though, because they're kind of exciting and interesting to play around with. So what we have here is what's called a portable transporter. And now what this allows is the automatic transfer of inventory items between any adjacent buildings or units. So if I were to build two of these portable transporters, and they're relatively expensive, costing 5 circuit boards, 10 wire, and 20 silicon, I can slap these into these storage houses, and they will pull metal and transfer metal without requiring as much logistical input from my bot network, which will heavily simplify my problems. But yeah, my network has bogged down significantly in a really bad way, in that we're running into a lot of efficiency problems. We're down to 43% efficiency. Thankfully, night does not last that long in this game, so we should be able to deal with it fairly quickly. So now this guy has an internal portable transporter, which should allow these buildings to put resources in it without it needing to do anything. Which means I no longer need workers to come over here and fill this thing here with plates. They do need to take the plates out of this building and into this storage, but like I've significantly reduced the burden on my logistical network. Because imagine, like, this is 3 buildings that are constantly making requests for stuff. Now they just need to be filled with ore. And we can heavily simplify our manufacturing and logistical network with the use of these portable transporters. They do have a fairly short range, and they do use a little bit of power, but even so, it's very helpful. I'm going to start powering down non-essential buildings so that we can get a little bit more power efficiency towards buildings that will actually help me increase the amount of power that I'm producing. And then we're immediately going to be producing 10 solar panels. And I'm going to go ahead and have my backup crystal generators going. Power has come back online. We're storing up our batteries soon, I think. Yeah, we should be filling up those batteries. We have almost fully mined out all the crystal here, but we honestly we haven't been making that much use of crystal, so it's not that big of a deal. We definitely need to make better metal plate production, and I'm probably going to rework this entire smelting area. I have a plan for how I would do that to minimize the logistical burden on my network. Right, so we're going to need a behavioral controller and maybe a pair of portable transporters. And I think then I can set up a much more compact automated plate production. So I'm going to set up a very simple behavior here, and the program starts, and then I want it to request an item. I want it to request metal ore, and I just want it to do that forever. And I want to see if that works. Can I get this storage box to fill up? Maybe I could put the behavior controller on a dashbot instead. So let's quickly make a dashbot for the sake of argument, because I want to try out an experiment. Maybe the behavior controller would be better on the dashbot, and I can tell the dashbot, hey, just go find metal and put it in this box. So let's put the behavior controller on you. Now here's what I want you to do. I want you to pick up metal, just like all the metal, okay? And then I want you to drop off that in your parameter 1. Parameter 1 will be this storage box. What do? Pick up, you drop off. The source can be your go-to area, so I want you to go to here, because there's nothing there. What if we get closest entity? Does this work? Program start, request 40 ore, then drop off 40 ore. Okay, the request was made. Okay, hold on. I think we have a potential behavior controller play here that we can make. I want to modify your behavior. You can store how much? You can store 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that's 8 times 2. That's 160. So what I want you to do, I want you to get 160. Dude, I'm figuring it out live, how to use these things. I want you to request 160 of these. I want you to count yourself, ideally. Maybe county doesn't work. I just want you to request, and then is there a wait command? So yeah, I want you to make a request, and then I want you to wait like, I don't know, like 180 seconds. So you should only need to request, let's call it 160 seconds. There's no way you're using more than 1 metal per second, right? And then you go back to requesting an item. Boom. So we take this guy, we start the behavior. It requests an inventory full, and it just waits, and then it requests again. It just constantly demands, hey, fill me up with ore. So we figured it out. All right, we're you know, man, this is cool. I'm getting the hang of things. And so the goal here is then what we want are 3 portable transporters, which is very expensive to do, but it makes this very, very logistically simple because the only thing that needs to be input is the ore into this thing every time it makes a request, every however many ticks. I don't know how many ticks 180 is, but it's on a regular, like, hey, get me resources, which is fine. Portable transporter. So we've got portable transporters in here. This is going to be the metal thingy. I need like a dump to get rid of some of these things. And we'll put a portable well, we don't need the portable transporter in this thing, do we? Probably good to get it. Let's quickly build 2 batteries if we can, because I think we've got a thingy down here that needs batteries. We've also totally ran out of crystal production. That's going to be a problem for us, so we'll have to set up like a crystal mine. We got like 5,000 over here, quite a decent chunk. There's also a decent chunk here. I think we could probably set those crystal guys over there, maybe make another power grid. Sure, let's expand the power grid by making a small power field, and we will also make a small battery. Right, so we've made some significant progress. We've got a whole bunch of crystal that's mining over here. We've set up some new manufacturing facilities that are slightly more efficient. We've reclaimed some of the old factory. We're finally producing these high density frames alongside these cables. The low density frame production is fine, or rather just the energized plates. The replicator, the resimulator, is about 35 of these complicated medium socket frames away from being finished. We don't have much of a surplus of cables, so we can't really do any research right now because we just don't have any surplus. I guess technically we could do the wire research, and this would get us advanced logistics, things like deployers, small storage, internal storage, radio. Sure. One thing that I'm kind of curious about is like, how does this power transmitter thing work? Like, can I transmit power all the way over to here? Like, is that actually like a thing that I can do with this like medium power transmitter? Like, how do I target this? Do I just say, hey, transfer that power to here? Is that actually working? Like, it can transfer 100 power. So can I, in theory, let's say this guy has a solar panel on him. Yeah, I just don't know what is the range on these things? Oh my God, this thing is expensive. Good grief. How expensive are these medium frames? Wow. Those are expensive. That's a lot of manufacturing that's going into those. At least the game does tell you the ratios, which is kind of neat. We are almost out of silica sand production over here, which is going to be a sad day because we're going to have to build a new thing. We can technically turn this into a wind turbine spot, and then I guess we could use these medium power things to beam power back, but it only has a bandwidth of 100, so do I really want to be beaming back 100 power? Far more interesting to me it would be to set up like some sort of bot that like walks over here, equips a pair of batteries, like lets those batteries fill up and then comes home or something. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, we're gonna have to find a new source of silica, which is very clearly over here. There's a decent amount in this local area. That does mean we're gonna have to build a new base just to keep manufacturing up, because silica is what's necessary to make these cables. Thankfully, it's relatively cheap to make this little configuration that we have. Oh, there's a little bit of silica over here actually. So maybe the thing to do would be to make a little power extension field. Let's have a look there. So we want a 1x1. No, not like that. We want a 1x1, and the 1x1 costs what? 10 and 5. And then with that, we would like a small power field. Where's my scouts? Let's take them off the network. You guys are done being network bros. That phase of your existence is over. Go ahead and take that small power field. You're going to need a little bit of this, and you're also going to need a little bit of crystal. There you go. Okay, so go build this thing. These guys are outside of a power field, which is part of the problem that we're having right now. But I'm quite happy to have a little bit more silica over here to just get me over the hump. We can extend the power field slightly, so these guys will be mining inside the power field, getting refilled. What else do we do? Well, I guess we really just need to head over here and set up a new base, so let's get that started. I think the thing to do would be to go for a couple of wind turbines. I mean, they're quite a bit more expensive than what we were building, which are these like really cheap solar panels. They're so cheap. These produce twice as much, but they're like way more expensive. Okay, anyway, let's just get the 4 solar panels that we're going to need for this new base. We're probably also going to need like 5 of these small buildings. Let's just fill up with rich metal ore source depleted. That sucks. But yeah, we're probably going to want to fill up with a bit of metal here. So let's get you... Oh, I dropped some on the floor. Oops. Go ahead and grab that. And grab that. So that's a decent amount of metal. Now let's grab some of this crystal. Man, we are plowing through these crystals. Really fast. Grab you. And drop a little crystal on this guy. Perfect. Add the scout to the control group. We need to grab the solar panels. Boom. 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 And then the final thing that we will need for this is a small power field. Alright, let's make our way to the new zone. Alright, we got 200 silica here, 169. There's not a huge amount of silica in these zones. Let's have a little peek around, see what we can find. There's a good bit over there. Oh, Jesus. Okay, we just discovered virus. Interesting. Infected circuit boards. Oh, so we just discovered an entirely new tech tree. Wait, these guys are infected. Oh, shoot. Okay, so we just got some kind of robot infection? Interesting. And I now have access to a component that allows me to avoid infection. Okay, so I'm going to need some blight crystals to manufacture this. I need to make some... Oh man, I wasn't expecting that as a gameplay mechanic. I didn't realize that these little bot glitches were going to be actually a real problem for me. These guys keep powering down, so they're glitched out. So I'm going to bring them over here so we can maybe work on getting them de-infected. That's going to be our main, that's going to be our priority number 1 right now, is to get these guys de-infected. Let's get ourselves a worker. We don't need that many resources. We do have bug chitin, so we can potentially start working our way towards this virus research. It's crazy stuff. I mean, let's cancel that advanced logistics. Let's get started on this virus research. Let's produce infected circuit boards. We only need 10 to complete our research, and we have basically all the resources for that. Now, I got a little worker bee here. Let's give him this. Let's put the uplink there, so we can figure out what's going on with this virus. Now, your job, my little boy, what we need you to do is to... No, get off the network. You're not on the network, okay? Get off the network. You exist to harvest, so we need a couple of capacitors for you. We get a couple of capacitors, we'll be able to give this guy extra power so he can operate independently and actually go get these blight crystals. Okay, this guy's filled up with a decent amount of power. Let's go ahead and send him into the blight. Go get those blight crystal chunks. You guys need to... Oh, you guys are powered down. Yeah, I think part of the glitch is that this virus glitch keeps powering them down. So let's make sure we keep them really far away from our other units. We can prevent that infection. A blight seems to be corrupting the planet. Electric interference prevents entry. We would need to research it more if we wanted to enter. So we need to do blight discovery. We've got to extract blight gas from an area. Then we got to do internal blight containers. This allows us to hold blight. We got a blight container small, so this is like actually a resource. We got blight bars. Next in queue is virus research. Oh my god, we just discovered blight. So we know we actually have to get extracted blight essence to figure out what the hell is going on with the blight, dude. Oh man, we gotta figure out like human intel, alien technology. There's so much going on here. The blight mechanic is crazy. I didn't even know this was a thing. What a cool set of gameplay mechanics. Oh man, we're getting into the stuff that I had no idea was in this game. All right, we got a whole bunch of blight crystals. Let's go ahead and deposit those in the, main area. We'll build a few virus protection circuits. We're probably going to need 4 exactly. One for the guy who's going to deliver them, and then one each for the guys who are going to receive them. All right, let's go deliver the antivirus as planned. First antivirus to be deployed. This guy's now he's fine. He's protected from the virus. Okay, here you go. And now I want you to go back. Well, I don't want to risk it. So you're just going to go back and grab another viral container thing. Just when I thought this game had no more surprises to throw at me, it threw a surprise at me. We've got the re-simulator here. genuinely do not know what I'm supposed to do with this. Like, let's just put, I don't know, let's put a bunch of metal in there. Let's see what happens. So what's it doing? The re-simulator. Reconstruct objects on a simulation. Oh, charged via data cubes. Hold on. Put a data cube in. So am I supposed to now create these data cubes? Sure, let's start making data cubes. Let's find out where this rabbit hole leads. All right, let's get all these little monsters over to here. Clear their missions. This little mining base is to be abandoned. Eventually it could be useful as an electricity generator, but it has no purpose for us. Get out of the blighted zone, it's scary. There's obsidian in there? Oh man, there's so many resources I haven't even begun to explore in this game. All right, boys, I forget why we're here. What were we doing? We're mining. That was a very big distraction that we just went through. We are setting up a mining base in this zone. I guess we'll plonk it down. All right, let's put down a small power field in the center of this array, like so. And then we want to put a whole bunch of solar panels around it in a very nice little configuration. One of these guys has a solar panel and he's not meant to. And it is not you, it is you. 4 solar panels. We're also going to need ourselves a little storage block. Boom. This requires some of our metal and crystals that we will go ahead and deposit. That should build itself. And then I take my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 miners, I guess, and say, hey, go mine some silica, dudes. And then when you're finished mining that silica, wait, do I have to really do this one by one? Okay, whatever. Copy you, paste, 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 paste. Right, perfect. So then my little dashbot, your job is to go to this thing and then store in this thing. And you are connected to the logistic network, so you're going to just do that. You've got a solar panel, you can supply yourself. And now we just got to hope the infection doesn't spread from this small bot glitch. But we are researching the virus, which would be interesting. I think it might be a good idea for me to give this thing the viral protection. So I'm going to go ahead and just drop it in that storage box. And then when this dashbot makes it back, we'll like give him what he needs. Okay, this guy's protected from virus, which means he won't bring the virus between my bases. These guys can get infected by this small bot glitch, which isn't the end of the world. We're researching the virus. I don't even remember what the hell I was supposed to do next. We're not getting through to our like tertiary resources, and I haven't quite figured out how to get like mining to not be kind of poopy. I'm wondering if I build multiple uplinks, can we like research faster? Because this virus research takes a while, dude. It looks like that totally works. Let's go. Perfect. We've got 3 uplinks churning away, hopefully making this feel like it's not going so slow. We've got 3 dashbots actually to add to the logistic network as well. Off you guys go. Go move resources for me. So we're not getting enough wire in and stuff of that nature, which kind of tells me we need to go on a big exploration spree and find like some really solid silica production. Wait, doesn't one of these guys have a radar? You? How do I want to search for silica. No. I want to search for a world object. What am I actually looking for here? How do I? Oh, here we go. 1,800, 3,300. Okay, so I'm expecting to find the angry bugs around here. Okay, another 3,000. Okay, this is actually perfect zone for a second base. A power plant. Huh. Needs an intel scanner. So that's pretty advanced tech. Ooh, this is human origin. This is how we could get access to human technology. All right, sick. What's this, explorable? We would need infected circuit boards to clear this. Well, the good news is we found rather large deposits of silica, which means this whole area is definitely colonizable. This small base will be good for a forward operating thing. Would be nice to set up a proper, oh, hey, whoa, that's a lot of angry worm boys. All right, so we're probably gonna need to bring the big guns in here. Maybe even set up a defensive position with like medium towers, large towers. I think the real thing is to just play it carefully here as we explore. Oh yeah, this is silica land. Oh god, we're going deep. Okay, we're going deep. We don't want to get caught by these worm guys because they do a lot of damage, but we want intel, you know? We want to know. Oh, it's a bug hive. Don't shoot the bug hive. Don't shoot the hive. It'll anger them. Okay, that's a lot of scale worms. But here's the thing, if we set up like a defensive thing, we can kill them. Oh, a power plant. Let's have a look what's available there. Yeah, we need a system scan. Okay, at least we know where we need to expand to get silica. This direction, which should lead to wire production increases. I need to get myself a second dashbot, or just a faster robot that does this job that this dashbot is doing. He's doing a good job hauling, but yeah, he's just not, it's not enough to do one guy. One guy's not enough to do that job, you know what I mean? With analyzing the virus, we found a way to protect against it. We need to research a cure as soon as possible, okay? So now we've got virus tech. Oh man, this opens up with a whole new tech tree. Virus component for bug protection. A robot hive, huh? Does this let me make bugs? A viral data cube. Rewrite target data as bug data. What? I can become part of the bug swarm? A virus vaccine. Total protection. Anomaly particle. Bro, what? Virus crypto. Crypto bit lock. Temporary locks enemy units from movement. A viral turret that requires infected circuit boards. Holy. A viral data cube. Bug attacks. So we can like replicate the bug technology? Connects virus instances into re-simulator world stability. I don't even know what that means, dude. A particle of pure data. I don't even know how you get this. What? Dude, this is wild. I haven't even begun blight research. Sure, let's go for advanced logistics. Let's start up on that. I think that's something we can totally research. We have the capability to do it. But let me tell you, boys, this has been desynced, okay? I hope this has given you just enough of a taste of what you're going to be doing in the first few hours of gameplay. Super cool game, super interesting. There's a lot going on. The whole programmable interface that you can like totally program things to do stuff. I got a lot of figuring out to do on that front. But dude, check it out. Thank you for the game creator for sponsoring this video. I had a lot of fun playing this game. Super recommend it. I think it's a highly, highly interesting game. If you're into the factory building style game, dude, check it out. It's really cool. It's really interesting. It's a really unique take on things. And also the thing that I love about this game is like basically everything that you build is represented physically in the game world. Like this is, the solar panels are actually here. Like it's super, super cool. But unfortunately, that's going to be it for me for this video. I hope this was just enough to get you interested in playing the game yourself. I love you all very much, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.